Draghi. He'll be up later on this week as the ECB decides what to do. Our next guest says European leaders need to agree on a governance mechanism. In turn, those countries in trouble would be controlled and supervised by a Central European authority. Letizia Moratti is Italy's former Minister of Education and Research. She joins us now. Very nice to see you. You're here to talk primarily about charity work, so we'll do that a little later on in the conversation. But first, let's talk about what is happening in Italy right now. One of the things that the markets are deeply concerned about your country is the political instability, this sort of unknown situation post-Mario Monti. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen next?
Well, first, I think we have to start with what Mario Monti is doing. Our Prime Minister, I think, is doing a lot to boost the economy and to face the challenges of both stability and growth. He has unveiled a package of reforms, major reforms on the pension system, of course some tax reforms and measures to free up the markets. So I think the overall the work that Mario Monti is doing has been appreciated by all European leaders, and not only European leaders, and also by the market. So, and we don't have to forget that the crisis is not an Italian crisis, it's a European crisis, and the fundamentals of Italy are good. We don't have to forget that Italy has contributed recently with 40 billion euros to the new financial stability fund. So.
Nevertheless, what the financial crisis has done is exposed a competitiveness problem that Italy faces, and as you say, Mario Monti is going some way down the road to addressing that. The concern is that he is doing good work, but that good work is about to end.
Yeah, well, there is certainly room for more action on cutting expenses, certainly, especially on the public sector. And I would say with more attention to meritocracy and giving incentive to virtuous entities. So this, I think, is now the work that Mario Monti has to do with the current political parties that are sustaining the government. So I don't think we have to forget that Mario Monti has a majority in the parliament with a large coalition. So and this large coalition is sustaining the government Monti. So I hope that the parties that are sustaining the government Monti will have the same sense of responsibility that they are showing now, also on the future election, when they will have to decide their...
When do you think that election will come? There has been some speculation that it could come as early as November.
I hope that they will come when Mario Monti has not finished the work, because to finish the work it's going to take years, but hopefully...
Amongst the political class?
I believe so, but of course we'll see. But I believe so. I believe that the election will take place in...
Could there be one of the things that's been speculated about is that there could be then a grand coalition which would effectively prolong Mario Monti's term, that he could lead a second grand coalition? He's kind of appeared cautious on that.
I believe that Germany has shown that in difficult times great coalition works. So I think that for a political party to have the burden of taking unpopular measure is difficult. So my personal view is that the common interest should prevail, and no matter what will be the form, but the parties will decide to act for the benefit of the country. So in my view, a great coalition is certainly one answer.
Is your sense, though, that the political parties within Italy are prepared to play ball with that? You have a great deal of experience of Italian politics. It is a bumpy affair. It is one that is difficult for outsiders to understand. And you kind of feel that there's positioning at the moment already taking place for the post-Monti era. Is there that sense that people are willing to work together? Is there a sense that the situation is so grave that Italy must make decisions with one voice?
The situation is grave, and not only for Italy. The situation is grave for
Europe,
and therefore I think that the political party will know that they will have to give response to their citizens, that they are voting for them, and for that reason I think that, they might consider it, although they probably will not be ready to tell it now, but they will consider a great coalition.
Do we need a new generation of politicians, not just in Italy but elsewhere? Do you think we need a new generation of leaders?
I wouldn't be sure about the fact of a new generation in terms of age or in terms of gender, but I certainly believe that we need experienced people, and when I say experience I also mean experienced people in terms of technical work that they have done, or international experience. So, well, the perfect example is Mario Monti and his team.
Yeah, his work at the European Commission certainly standing him in good stead in his economic background. Can I ask you why you're... It's very nice to talk to you about Italian politics. Very nice to get your perspective on that. But just give us... You're here for a completely different reason.
Yes, I am, which is in any case also linked to the crisis that we are facing, because I believe that the crisis we are facing is not just a financial or economic crisis, it's also a social crisis, and I believe that there is a social impact, I mean, because of all the difficulties we are facing. So I believe that we have to find new ways, new tools to face the social impact, because we are all the states are reducing their public services. And therefore there is room for social enterprises. I think there are very interesting example in UK or US, like the community interest company here in UK, or the low profit company in US, the so-called social enterprise.
Yeah.
So I'm here because there is an example of a social enterprise in Italy, which is called San Patrignano. It's a foundation that is working on for disadvantaged young people since 30 years now. And just to give you the example of how it works, since its foundation 30 years ago, San Patrignano has offered alternative opportunity to jail to disadvantaged people suffering from drug abuse, and by doing that they have allowed the state to save in these 30 years more than 300 million euros. So this is a perfect example, I think, of how a social enterprise can help our state.
And in a time of austerity?
Absolutely, exactly. In a time of austerity, I think there is more and more need for that. So you have, as I said, good example, but we also have, and in the environment of disadvantaged young people with drug problems, San Patrignano is certainly one example. And I've mentioned just the saving for the state for jail, but because of the fact that San Patrignano is free of charge for the families and for the state, the saving for the state, it's huge. Saving for health problems, saving for studies that are carried out in San Patrignano for young people that are having their rehabilitation project there. And we are now launching here in UK an association for young people from UK who wants to come to San Patrignano.
Letizia, it's been a great pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you for coming to see us. Letizia Moratti joining us.